synopsis. We pause every once in a while, look back, and look at our current situation. Doing this mostly for self-soothing. Here we go. 258,000 recovered patients on record. These are confirmed ones. 20% approximately of the 1.2 million people worldwide that have been shown to or are likely to have contracted the virus, which amounts to, out of that portion, 0.016% of the population gets infected. You have a 1 in 10,000 chance of getting sick, statistically. 68,100 deaths out of those who were infected, or 5.4% raw death rate. That is ridiculously high. That's 54 times higher than the normal flu. This is not normal flu. But out of a population of 7.8 billion people, if you want to play the odds, which we are all playing the odds anyway, your odds are fairly good because, again, it's 1 in 10,000 chance of getting it. But that's still not as low as a lottery, for instance. So virtually all cases are in well-traveled hot spots, and virtually all of it was directly proportional to it transferring from a specific country and a specific region of that country. All of the bad things you could do to keep this going were done. The next time there's an outbreak, and there will be, this is not something that's going to go away. It probably will come back next year. This is not looking like something that's going to stop being in existence, because humans can carry it. Next year, when, not if, there is an outbreak, the proper response, and I'm going to get to the point, is that everybody immediately snap to doing 2 months of social distancing, because that's not as bad as what you're going through right now, and 2 months of every business actually saying you can take time off if you're sick in any way, and we want you to for 2 freaking weeks. And as soon as any case anywhere happens, immediately everybody go back home to their country, stop going on vacation, stop poo-pooing it, because you will all by that point have known at least one person who got sick and know of at least 2 people who died in your area. Stop being ignorant on purpose and stop being a cavalier moron. And no, the next time it happens, no gatherings, no sporting events, no going to Daytona Beach or whatever, no religious deferment so you can get away with doing something that will absolutely spread the disease. An entire religious organization in, I forgot what country it is, ended up spreading the disease because because they demanded to have their religious right. That's fine. Political rallies, dead. Religious rallies, dead. No more. No, the answer is no. And no travel. And do not get onto any cruise ship. Just stop. Every single thing that went wrong because of people doing things, don't do them. All right? And yes, people are profiteering and also losing money at the same time now, so we'll discuss that if I have time in the video. The crude CFR death rate case ratio starts off in almost every case at 17.3% death rate, and then drops down to 0.7% death rate. This is because of the initial effect of people carrying it, not having any symptoms, and everybody who is extremely susceptible dropping dead rapidly. After an initial break, you get that with some diseases. This one just has a frighteningly high number. Yes, that 17% is bordering on the death rate for Spanish flu, but it's a burst of death rate and then it drops rapidly. And then you get a steady state effect that's around anywhere from 6%, 5%, whatever, all the way down to what we're seeing as 3% as average. Taiwan has been producing 10 million masks per day since mid-March, because they still produce. Methodology for prevention: disinfection, hand washing, covering one's mouth when coughing, maintaining safe distances from people, 2 meters or 6 feet, 1 body length. Masks are recommended for caregivers of those who have it, and anyone who suspects that they have the virus and are required or should be in self-isolation for preventing the disease from transferring. The best way to prevent the disease is not for us to stop from getting it, it's from keeping people from getting it from us. And the next thing that's important is there is a bizarre set of characteristics where the disease is transferable when you show no symptoms and don't know you're sick. So yes, masks are recommended for everybody. Treatment only of symptoms, supportive care, isolation, and experimental measures are available, but there's no real treatment. You treat it like a flu, and it is as communicable as a head cold. But it has this curve to that. Many experience only mild symptoms, and few or many, depending on what population and other factors we don't know, anywhere from 44% on down, may have no symptoms and be definitive carriers. So just under half the population could be carrying it in your area if there's been any case at all in the area. That's an indication immediately you should shift over to all the social distancing, or physical distancing as it's being called. 1 in 6 becomes seriously ill and has difficulty breathing in general initially in Wuhan from it, who are confirmed as sick. So 1 in 6 becomes really sick. But that goes down to 20%, well, not down, up, later on. 80% have mild symptoms versus 20% getting viral pneumonia, multi-organ failure, and other common symptoms, which are considered at the top end, like muscle pain, diarrhea, sore throat, loss of smell, and abdominal pain, or just pneumonia. But basically flu-like symptoms in 20% of the cases. 80% are mild symptoms, and half of those could be so mild they don't even know they have it. And if you're in a population like the United States where you're told to work while sick, because greedy bastards run the world, you'll make it worse and may not know it. Ergo, mandatory time off, paid for medical reasons for 2 weeks. Be done with it. It's 10 days average for a head cold. Now it's 2 weeks, okay? Can't do it? You don't give a shit about everybody around you having a 1 in 10,000 chance of getting sick? It goes up from there. Common symptoms include fever, cough, fatigue, shortness of breath. Can be diagnosed primarily, best case scenario, a chest CAT scan, or CT scan, excuse me. Or a combination of symptoms and risk factors can be used to diagnose, but we basically, the best way, the medical standard for it, for confirming a case, is a swab, and then using a complicated process that nobody will just standardize and be done with it. We're 3 months down the road. No standardization in the United States. 80% of the deaths were people over 60. 75% of the deaths were people who had pre-existing health conditions, specifically cardiovascular diseases or diabetes that made them physically unable to tolerate just having the flu. So they would have probably died from a flu if they had it. 80% of them over 60. 20% young people, healthy people, nothing wrong with them people. Those aren't odds I want to take. Like a 9-year-old dying from it. A sports person dying from it. People who are ridiculously healthy dropping dead. It's not just a crapshoot. It's your life. Not generally or primarily spread through the air. I repeat, not airborne. It has to be generally or primarily or commonly transferred just in the air. It is not airborne. But viruses can be airborne. You can't say viruses aren't airborne. Germ reality deniers have no merit. Don't listen to them. Mainly spread through close contact transmission that comes in the form of breathing, coughing, talking, sneezing, touching each other, touching surfaces that have been infested. Yes, I cleaned my hands a few minutes ago, by the way. It can survive on most surfaces or people up to 3 freaking days. Touching anything and then touching your face like I keep doing on purpose, and actually it's because my face itches right now because I washed it. Small droplets through the air, etc. Most contagious during the first 3 days after symptoms show, but they can show anywhere from 1 to 14 days after you're exposed. It has an unusual incubation period variability that is making it really difficult to do anything about it. Relapse cases are believed to be a worsening of lingering infection rather than reinfection. So now we have to say it may be possible that people gain an immunity. But the delay time between having the infection, getting over it, and reinfection, possibly passing it back and forth from one person back to them to get reinfected, is a problem. We don't know if you can gain an immunity to it. But the delay time can be up to, 2 weeks. Mandatory, if you get sick for the next year or two, every business needs to seriously say to themselves, I am part of the problem if I don't give people time off and pay them. Because at this point, you're going to be not screwing over your customers and or your workers, which most business people don't care about. Yes, I'm being an asshole at this point. If you don't encourage people to prevent the disease from spreading, you are causing a pandemic. This pandemic was caused by people on vacations, doing business travel, or just simply doing normal stuff during the week. And the vast majority of people who were carrying it probably didn't show any symptoms. It's most infectious when you have symptoms, but it's infectious throughout the entire process of it. Head colds are transmittable throughout the entire duration the infection is in the person's body. No, it isn't, because you're wrong. Shut up. Wrong. All of these diseases, I'm going to say this very simple, all of the coronaviruses are responsible for the majority of people transmitting diseases. Coronaviruses are an entire subgroup of diseases, at least in humans, that are extremely good at not going away because they transfer during the entire period of time you have them in you. They're just more contagious during one peak. The rest of the time, they're still contagious. Stop saying, I'm over a cold, cough, cough. I'm not contagious. Next year, when someone says that while my arm is working, I'm going to say, are you repeating something that was wrong for the entire duration of humanity this year after the coronavirus outbreak of 2020? Fuck you. I'm going to slug them dead in the nose and get fired or put in jail every time. Stop fucking lying about transmission of diseases. Yes, I'm going to tell people. If you say, I'm not contagious, neener, I'm going to slug them as hard as I can. Fuck it. I'm 50. I'm not taking chances anymore. You will cease and desist acting like denialists if it threatens my existence or my friends. And everyone should do that. Slap! What are you doing? You're being punished. Cease and desist this behavior. No, you don't have a right to free disease speech. I'm a little frustrated. I used to get taunted. You're a germaphobe. I'm also your boss. You're fired. You can't do that. Now you're locked out of the building, and I'm not giving you your crap back. Get out. You can wear the bunny suit today. In a germ-free lab, by the way, but I have to say that. Anyway. 97% of the world's student population got locked out of schools because schools are a germ factory. The school was closed early, okay? It's not, they're locked out, blah, blah, blah. You were locked out of school early. It's an early vacation. Just don't go on vacation. Go home. 250 million people are in lockdown in Europe. Case doubling periods in Europe are typically 3 to 4 days, and then it turns over to 2 days at after the early stages of detection. Case doubling means is that it goes in 20 doublings, you have 1 million cases from one person. Okay? Binary escalation, or you call it geometric progression or something. New York case doubling slowed from 2 days to 5 days. The United States average is really, really high. Case doubling means that every X number of days you get double the cases. But this case is, but the disease itself triples rather than doubles. So, yeah. That's the information I have as of today that's considered accurate. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that.